Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching Electron JS for beginners, and I'm going to be teaching you how to create an Electron JS application from ground up. And at the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create your own Electron JS application from scratch. And we are also going to be seeing things like how to create your browser window, how to create platform specific code, and we are also going to talk about the preload script and the difference between the renderer and the main process. And we are also going to be seeing how to use the IPC renderer to communicate between the renderer process and the main process. We are also going to be demonstrating how to use the IPC and like to communicate between the main process and the renderer process, and also from the renderer process to the main process. And I'm also going to be showing you how to create a custom menu and context menu, and I will also show you how to debug your Electron JS application and how to debug the main process and also the renderer process or the UI. And we are also going to be building a demo application, which is an image manager. And let's see the demo application that we are going to be building alongside this tutorial. In this tutorial, this is the demo application, and it is more like an image previewer, and you can also delete an image. If I click on this button, it's going to bring up this native dialog box to select an image. Then if I select this image, it's going to display it. Then I can delete it by clicking this delete image. If I delete it now, before deleting it, let me open the folder. This is the folder here. Now if I delete it, you see that the file is going to be deleted from this folder. If I click on delete, and as you can see, it brings up the native dialog box asking me whether I want to delete the app. If I click on OK, it's going to be deleted, and it's also going to be removed from here. Now we can also use context menu or this pop-up dialog box, and it is native. We can use it to do the same thing to select a file. As you can see, the file is gone. Let's select this file, and as you can see, it is now displaying, and this is the file here in the folder. We can also delete it using the context menu, and if I click on OK, it's going to delete the file, and it is also going to remove it from here. Now we can also do the same thing from the custom menu that we are also going to be creating in this tutorial. Now the custom menu includes help window that this is working, the minimize is working. I'm also going to be showing you how to make this menu bar functional, and the file we can do the same thing from the menu bar. When I click that, you see that it brings up this native dialog box, and if we choose it, and you can also delete it from here or delete it using the context menu or using this button. But let's check it. Let's delete it from here. It's also going to ask me whether I want to delete the file or not. And notice here, you see that this is the file here. You see that the file is going to be deleted. As you can see, the file has been deleted. This is the project or the example application that we are going to be building in this tutorial. And at the end of this tutorial, it is guaranteed that you are going to know how to build your own Electron JS application from ground up, and you have advanced idea on how to create an Electron JS application, and what Electron JS application is, what IPC is, and the difference between renderer and main process, and also how you also see how you can write Node.js code inside the main process. Before we go on, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. It motivates me to do more tutorials like this. Let's talk about what is Electron JS? I'm going to explain it in based on the definition that is on the Electron JS website and in my own terms too. Electron JS is a framework that uses HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and embeds Chromium and Node.js into its binary and uses this together with the HTML and CSS JavaScript code to build desktop applications that works on all platforms, including the major and the popular ones like the Linux, Mac, and Windows. And in my own terms, Electron.js is a framework for building desktop applications using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you can also use other JavaScript frameworks like React.js and Vue.js, AngularJS, and so many other JavaScript libraries. You can also use TypeScript. Yeah. And for this tutorial, I would assume you have basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and you have some knowledge of Node.js. Even if you don't have knowledge of Node.js, it is okay. You can go along, but it is recommended. I would recommend you have some knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to be able to follow along. Yeah. That is enough of talking. Let's dive straight into what we are going to be doing. Yeah. Now, first of all, to create an Electron JS application from scratch, because that's what we are going to be doing in this tutorial, where we will start from scratch to advance. Yeah. To start an Electron JS tutorial, first of all, let me talk about the project structure. The lesson folder that we are going to be using for Electron JS, it is Electron JS tools, and I've opened it with VS Code. And also, that is what we are going to be. It is inside this folder that we are going to be creating our Electron JS application. And currently, the folder is currently empty. As you can see, there's nothing in the folder now. Now, first of all, to initialize our app, we are going to use npm init. Then npm is now going to ask us for the package name. Let's just choose the name of the folder, then version 1, description, Electron JS tutorial. Then we need to specify an entry point, which I'm going to come back to soon. Then we are going to name it main.js. Then test, we don't have any test. Git repository, no. Keywords, no. Yeah, yes. Then after this, then this is going to create a package.json as you've seen here. If you haven't done yours, you can pause the tutorial and run through this stuff that I just finished doing now. And if you've done it, then you can continue. Now, next is let's install Electron.js. To install Electron.js, let's just run npm install. Now, we need to install Electron.js as a dev dependency because it is not needed in production. That is why we are going to install it as a dev dependency. Electron. Yeah, Electron.js has been installed, and as you can see, there's a node modules now and also a package log.json, package log.json file. Yeah, and the Electron has been added to the package.json dev dependencies. Now, the next thing is, now let's talk about the main file or the entry point file. Now, if we try to run Electron.js, the first thing Electron.js is going to do is look for the entry point file, which we specified with in the main parameter in the package.json. It's going to try to look for this file and run the command and all the code in the file. Now, first of all, let's create the main.js file. Let's name the file main.js. So this is the main script, and it is the entry point of Electron.js applications. and it controls the main process. It runs Node.js environment, and it controls the app lifecycle, and it manages the renderer process, and also it displays native interfaces, as we are going to see later in the tutorial. And yeah, if you are familiar with Node.js, as we code along in this tutorial, you are going to see that most of what we are going to be doing in this main.js is purely Node.js stuff that we are going to be doing in this main.js file. Yeah. Now, inside this main.js, the first thing we need to do is let's just log something. Console.log. It works. Now, to run our application, let's go back to the package.json. Then under the script, let's add a command which is going to be start. You can name it anything, but let's just name it start. Then to run the app, we are going to write the command Electron JS Electron dot, which means Electron JS run the application in this directory, in which is going to look for the main.js file and is now going to run the main.js file. Now let's see that in action. Let's use this other command prompt here. Now let's run npm run start. Then you are going to see what is going to happen now. Electron.js, then as you can see, it says it works, and it brings up it shows this icon down here, which is not showing anything when I click it, because we've not programmed what it should do. Now let me stop it by just doing Ctrl+C. Yeah. Now to start our application, we need to import the browser window and also the app. Those are the two required modules. And also we need a new file, which let's create an index.html, which is going to be the UI file. Documents, then let's just type h1 hello. Now from this file, const app browser window equal to require Electron. Yeah. Now this is the main process, and this is the renderer process, which handles the UI and what is being displayed in the desktop application, and this is where it is being handled from. Now to create a browser window, let's create a function that let's put the code inside a function that is going to be, let's call it initialize. You can call the function name anything, but I just like calling it initialize. Then let's create a variable. We are going to call it main window. Okay, let's just set it to undefined like that. Then main window equal to new browser window. Yeah, this is how we initialize the browser window. Then the next thing is, let's specify the width and height of the window. Let's specify 800 or width 800, then height 500. Yeah, this is the initial stuff, just to initialize the browser window. Now the browser window is not going to be ready until the app is finally ready. It's not going to work and it's not going to show until the app is ready. Now if we call this initialize just anyhow, the browser window is not going to work, because it needs the app needs to be ready first. Yep. Now how do we wait for when the app is ready? That is when you are going to call app dot when ready. Then this is a promise dot 10. Then we are now going to call the initialize. Now it is now going to initialize. Now let's check out our app. Now if we check it out, it is not going to do anything because we still need to tell it that we need to load a resources, either a local resources or a URL. You can either load a URL, let's say load URL, like let's pass https github.com. Yeah, if we pass in https github.com, it's going to load github.com by default. Now let's go and check it out, and let's check it out again. npm run start. Yeah, as you can see, it has both bring up the software window or the app window, and it is now showing GitHub, and it is now displaying GitHub now. Okay, now that is not what we need to do. Now to load a local resources, we are loading our own file, which is going to be load file. Then we are going to pass in the path to the file that we want to load, which is going to be index.html. Yeah, npm run start. As you can see, the app is now running. Yeah, now let's go to the next thing. There are also OS specific stuff that you can do, like for example on Linux and Windows. If you close the browser window, if you close the app window, like if there are multiple windows of this app that we opened, if you close all of them, it is necessary for the app to close, like for the app to quit after all the windows has been closed. Then we need to manually implement this. Now to implement that, we need to do something like app dot on window all closed. Then we are going to check if process dot platform. This process dot platform is going to return the platform which the app is running on. Then is not equal to Darwin. It's not equal to Darwin. Like if we are running on Windows, then this platform is going to return Win32. If it is Linux, it's going to return just Linux, and if it is Mac, it is Darwin. Now if it is not Darwin, then app dot quit. Now what this is going to do is it's going to quit the app if or when all windows are closed, or if we click on this, if we were on Windows and we click on this close button, it is going to close the app. Yeah, now there is also something we need to do on if the app is running on Mac. App dot on activate. This this app event is only applicable for Darwin platforms. If browser window dot get all windows dot length equal to 0, then initialize. What we are trying to do is, like for example, there's a behavior on Mac that if you close the window, the icon is still going to be showing here, and like the window is not going to be totally closed. And if you try to open the window again, if you try to open the app again, it might not open because the system is going to think that the app is already running, so it's not going to open it again. It's not going to call this initialize method again. Like this when ready has already been called, so it is not going to open the app again. So that is when this is now going to run, and it's now going to check if all the windows has been closed but the process has not ended. Then it's now going to just launch the browser window again. Yep. Now that is for platform specific stuff. And if you also want to do other stuffs for like platform specific stuff, you can use this process.platform to check like process.platform equal to win32. That is for Windows. Yeah. Now let's go to the next thing. Now let's talk about preload scripts. If you notice, we've only shown the browser window. Now you might be asking, what if we want to communicate from this front end to this main process? Now let me explain what is going to be happening there. This UI, it is the renderer process, and it does not have access to the Node.js process, and the main process also does not have access to the browser context or the browser process or the renderer process. That is for security. That is for security reasons. Now, how do we now bridge the gap within these two processes, within the main process or the Node.js process and the UI process? That is when the preload comes in. Now the preload bridges the main process and the renderer process together, and they communicate using something called interprocess communication, which is the IPC. And the preload also has access to the DOM. The preload bridge has access to the DOM, and it also have access to some limited Node.js stuffs. You can learn more about that on the Electron JS documentation. Now, how do we now create the preload script? Let's create a new file and let's call it preload.js, but you can call it anything, but just for naming stuff, and so that we'll be able to understand our application code base easily. Let's name it preload.js. Yeah. Now, first of all, create the preload.js. Then I'm thinking I should create the preload.js now because I'm trying to set up the application. Okay, now let's create the preload.js. Now the preload.js, as I've mentioned before, the preload.js communicates using IPC. Okay, we are going to talk about that later. Const context bridge equal to require Electron. Yeah, let me talk about this context bridge. As I've mentioned before, that this preload.js is a bridge that bridges the main the browser context or the preload context to the Node.js context or the main process. That is where that is what this context bridge does. The context bridge then is now going to expose. Then we can use two things: expose in main world or expose in isolated world. For this tutorial, we are going to be using the expose in main world, in which is going to expose the context. It's going to expose the context that we define here to the browser context. Then we can call this Electron, so that it is going to be available as window. You can call it anything, but let's call it Electron. Then you can define some things like print hello, then console.log hello world. Now, to make this preload.js work, we will need to attach it or bind it to the browser window with the web preference. Then we are going to pass the preload. Then now we need to do some Node.js stuff here. Const path. Let's import the path. Then require node path. Yeah. Now we are going to use this path to link to this preload.js file. Path, then name, path.join name, then the preload.js file. Now what this does is this name is going to return the root folder of this file, which in our own context here it is the project root folder here. Then it's now going to look for the preload.js file, which is inside the same directory. Now let's run it again. Let's close the application, then run it again, because after making a change, if we make a change in the main process, we will have to reload the whole app. But if we make any change in the browser context, you can just run Ctrl R like to reload. Yeah, let's run npm run start. Yeah, in the preload we added this print hello. Now let's go back to the index.js and let's write script. Then okay, let's add a button here. Button click me, just for testing. Then document dot query selector button dot on click, then that's going to be, then we can now call window dot electron dot what is this print hello dot print hello. Yeah, now let's go back to the app and just reload. As you can see, when I reloaded, it showed the button. And now let's bring up the console using the normal shortcut that you use to bring up the console in the browser. Yeah, and let's just move it a bit, or let's change the direction. Yeah, let's change the direction to the bottom so that it's not going to affect. Yeah, I'm trying to reduce the height here. Yeah, now if I click me, yeah, as you can see, it printed out hello world here. Now it means it is working. Now let's go to the project setup to demonstrate more about what you can do with Electron JS. Let's go into the example project of this tutorial. Now I'm going to do a quick setup for the example project of this tutorial. Just a quick CSS. I'm going to write a quick CSS, and because this tutorial is not a CSS stuff, so I'm just going to fast forward it. Yeah, okay. Now I'm done with the CSS, and the explanation of the CSS is just actually this is just a simple CSS, and it is inside this style tag, and you can also link an external CSS file. You can create an external CSS file here and link it using the link. And yeah, you can actually link this CSS anyhow into this file. You can link CSS to CDN, and you can also link JavaScript. You can load JavaScript libraries or packages through CDN, through the script tag. And you are going to be seeing just in a moment that we are going to be loading an external JavaScript file. Now what I did is I gave the body a gray color, a light gray color. Then there's an header and an image preview container which takes 80% height, and the header takes just 10% height. Then let me just give this 90%. Yeah, then let me give this, let's see, box size for that box. Yeah, now you can read more on box sizing. I'm not going to be explaining this because we are not in the CSS tutorial. You can read more on box sizing from MDN. Just if you are using VS Code, just hover your mouse over it and click on MDN reference there. Now that is that, and this container is where our image is going to be displaying. Actually, this is just the image container, and I styled it, and this is the image alt, and this icon is indicating that the SRC link that we provided is broken. Yeah, that is it. Now we are going to be selecting file from the system. We are going to be selecting image files from the system, and we're going to be displaying it, and we are also going to implement like context menu and also the menu here at the top here. Now let's start that. Now that is what is now going to take us to the next thing, which is the IPC. Yeah, to do the IPC is what Electron JS application uses to communicate, or let me just say it is what the preload.js or the preload file uses to communicate between the preload process and the main.js process, or sorry, the preload process and the node.js process, or the main process. Yeah, that is what IPC is. And there are two IPC. There is IPC renderer, and which works on the renderer process, and there is also the IPC main, which works on the main process. Yeah, we are going to see that soon. Now I would like to create an object here so that our app is going to be structured. Then I'm going to add a property called open file. Then this is going to be an async. You are going to see why it is an async just in a moment. Then then we are now going to call IPC renderer dot. Now the IPC renderer can send message to the main process in two ways. You can either use send. If you use send, it means you are not expecting any data back from the main process. And you can also use dot invoke, and this invoke is going to return data back from the main process. If you use invoke, it means you are expecting data back from the main process. You are going to see how we can return data back to this invoked IPC. Now then we are going to, it takes in two arguments or parameter or whatever. Then the first is the name of the event that we want to send, which we can call you can call it anything, just let's call it open file. The second argument is the parameters that you want to send, but now we are actually not sending any parameter, but you can send any parameter that is not something like object, that is not a function, it's not a class, it's not binary, but you can send things like you can send object literals, you can send arrays, string, number, and things like that. But you can send some things like that are related to like class, functions, all those things can't be sent through the IPC renderer.send or the IPC renderer.invoke. Yeah. Now we are not sending anything. Okay, I can just do something like this. Args. If you are sending args, let's say we are sending it to an object. Let's say data, then something like this. Then you'll be able to access this parsed data in the main process. Now, because this invoke is a promise, we need to await it. We are going to be using the await. You can also use .then, but you are going to be using await in this tutorial. Then it's going to return a file, like the link to the file that we selected, or the path to the file that we selected. Then we are going to await it. Yeah. Then we can now return, or we can simply just return await this. Then in the main process, before the initialize, we are going to use the IPC main. Let's first of all import the IPC main. Then now IPC main dot on, or no, is dot undo. If you use dot send from the preload side, if you use dot send, then you are going to use dot on to listen for the events. But if you use dot invoke, you need to use dot undo. You need to use dot undo for like to undo the invoke. Then we are going to pass in the event name, which is open file. Then the callback function. Now this callback function is going to return something. Now let's create a new function, which is going to be select file. It is going to be a reusable function. You are going to see why it is reusable soon. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is we want to open a dialog box, a native dialog box, so that we'll be able to select an image file. Yeah. Now that's going to take us to the next thing. Now come to the API section in the Electron JS documentation and come to the dialog section, and this is what we are going to be using. Now going back to the app, let's import the dialog, same also from Electron. Then we are going to do something like, then this also, the dialog is also a promise or asynchronous stuff. Then we're going to say file equal to await dialog dot show open dialog. Now then we are going to pass in this main window. Now you can see why I declared this main window this way. Then we are going to pass in the main window, then the options. Now because we are only selecting file, then we are just going to pass in open file. Now if you come to the documentation, you can see other properties that you can pass in: open directory, open file, multi selections, show hidden files, and other stuffs that we are not going to be talking about because they are not necessary for this tutorial. Now it is going to open file. Then there's also a filter that you can use, like to filter things, extensions. Let's pass in the array of extensions that we need, like .jpg, png, jpeg, or maybe even gif, though we are not going to be using gif, or sorry, gif. Yeah, that is it. And if you want to support multiple file selection, just pass in multiple selections here, but we are not doing that in this tutorial. I'm just going to comment this out. We are not doing that in this tutorial. Let me give you some spacing. Yeah. Now, the file is going to return three things. Like if I over this thing now, it's going to return three things: cancelled, if it is cancelled; a boolean showing whether the dialog box was cancelled; a file path; and bookmarks. The file path, an array of files, an array of paths that was selected by the user. And yeah, now let's check if file dot cancelled. If it is not cancelled, then return file path. And we are expecting just only one file, so I'm just going to index it as just the first item in the array. Else, or you can just do it this way: return null. We are not going to be handling this return null. Yeah, we are not going to be handling it because we are going to be expecting the user to select a file. Okay, well, we can actually handle it. Yeah, now this is now going to just return select file. Let's give this a spacing. Yeah, now what this is going to do is going to undo the event that we invoked from the preload bridge. Then this invoke then is going to be handled here. It's going to be handled, then it's now going to return what this select file function returns. Now there's one more thing here. This renderer, we are just going to replace it with this, expose in main world. Now this preload.js, and an application can have more than one preload.js. Like if you need to open multiple windows, if you need to open like multiple child windows, like for example, browsers, like I can open a new window like this. Like for example, in this kind of scenario, I will need another preload.js that is going to handle new process. You can do that easily using Electron Forge, and that is going to be another tutorial. That's going to be another tutorial, and I'm going to be doing another tutorial on Electron Forge, or like beginner tutorial on Electron Forge. Yeah, now let's run our application. Now this is now going to be available for use just the same way we use Electron window.electron.println. Okay, even don't let us remove it. Let us just comment this out. Then renderer. Yeah, now let's rerun our application. Yeah, now let's go back to the index.js. Now let's create a new index.js file, index.js. Then let us link it in just the way you link in your external files on when you are working on web applications. Then index.js. Now coming to the index.js, yeah, now we are now going to this button. Let's select this button using query selector. That's going to be const. We don't need that button. we don't need to reuse that button. You can just get it like this: document.create selector. Then is it a ID? Is an ID. Then dots on click. That's not going to be. Then we are now going to run window dot electron, not this electron, the smaller case one, electron, then dot open file, then after calling this, if we can also pass in argument to it. If we are expecting, like, if we are expecting the data from the UI, then you can just pass in the data here. You can just pass in the data here. You can just pass in data here. Then just pass in your data. Yeah. And we are not passing in any data, so you can just do it like data. Yeah. Now this is going to work as we expected. Now it is also going to return something. Then let's do that as count file equal to, then we can now log it. We are also going to be seeing how we can log files here now, how we can log content. Yeah. I think we've seen how we can log content, but let's open the console, then refresh. It has refreshed. Now because my CSS is not that cool, just pardon me for this, just for testing. Then if I click on it now, okay, let me just bring this down a bit so that it's going to be easy to see. If I bring this down now, it's going to open the native dialog box. Yeah, as you can see, it has opened the native dialog box. Then let's open this folder which contains some files. Okay, I'm trying to, yeah. As you can see, these are the image files, and we can only select just one item. Yeah. Now let's select this, open. Now let's bring up our console, and as you can see, okay, yeah, we need to wait for it because it is a promise. We need to wait for it. I'll wait. Yeah. Now let's refresh again, and let's click on select file, select the file again, and as you can see, this is the path to the file. Then let's do one more thing. That is now going to be we are going to be selecting this image file because we only have one image tag, so we can use document.query selector, just one img tag, then .src, then that's not going to be set to the file. Then now let's check it out. Let's reload. Then yes, let's leave the console like this, select file, this, and yeah, as you can see, the file is now showing. Now let's do the next thing. What if we want to like do context menu? Like if we right click, we want to display the native context menu and use that to select file. Now let's see how that works. Now that's going to take us to the next thing, which is going to be the context menu. Now coming to this same API page, which is a list of all Electron JS APIs, let's come to the menu section. And not to waste much of our time, if you want to learn more about the methods that you can use with the menu, like the pop-up, menu.popup and other things, you can come back to this place and see it. But there's a quick example here that we can use. This is the browser menu, and this is the context menu example here. Now let's just copy this context menu example. Let's copy the context menu example, then go back to our code. I'm just going to paste it down here and comment it out. Then let's come to the preload.js and add a new property, which is going to be show context menu. Then that is not going to be an async, and you can also pass in data to it if you like. Now that is now going to be IPC renderer.send, because we are not expecting any data. Then we are just going to give it open context menu. Yeah. Now if you want to send data, you can just pass in the data that you want to send here. Data, any data. Now let's go to the main process. Then IPC main dot on. If you notice that I'm using the on because we are using send, which is more like an event dot on. Then this is now going to run this code here. Now before using it, let's import menu. Then now let's uncomment this and check things. Yeah, now and let's add an event. Let's pass an event argument here. Now the context menu is a pop-up menu. We are just going to pass in BrowserWindow dot from web context, like specifying the window that the pop-up is going to be over, and it is also going to use the cursor position. It's also going to use the cursor position. Yeah, and these are the to pass in options to it. It primarily takes in two stuff: an optional label and also a role or a type. You can learn more about the pop-up here if you come to this page. Learn more about the other stuff that you can pass in to the pop-up. Like if you want to specify the X position and the Y position, if you need a special need to specify that, you can specify it, and other stuff here. Now let's go back, and yeah, for this tutorial we are just going to be using just only one stuff, which is going to be menu item select file. Then on click we are going to need this, and let's pass in async here. Let's move this, let's give this a tab. Then that's going to be const file equal to await select file. Now you can see the reason why I made this select file reusable instead of just writing the whole logic inside this cover function. Yeah, then event.sender.send context menu command. We can also send events from the main process to the renderer process inside this preload file. You are going to see how we can undo that here soon. Then that is now going to be event.sender.send. You can do it in two ways, either using the event.sender, which is this event implement the browser window IPC main event. Then that is why we were able to okay, this sender is more like the web content, which is like the okay, let me call it this browser window, this main window context. Yeah, then context menu command, or let's call it event from main process. Then let's pass in the data that you can pass in any data like array or object or string or number, but this we are expecting a string, in this case a string or null. Now separator, then menu item 2, let's just pass in delete file. We might not implement this delete file, but let's just pass it in here. Then this type separator is just like an under, like just a separator line. It's going to be below this select file label, and after we click it, it's going to do this. It's just going to do the same thing that this button is doing. Now, because we've edited the main process, now let's reload the whole app. Yeah, now if I right click on it now, you see that it's going to bring up, okay, now it is not bringing up anything because we've not called this show context menu yet. Now let's go to our index.js. Then the image file, if we there are two ways we can undo this right click. We can use dot on context menu or on aux click. You can use the on aux click or on context menu. Let's use the on aux click. Yeah, now we are now just going to call window dot electron dot show. Let's come back to the preload.js. Yeah, show context menu, and it is not necessary we add window before the electron. You can just call electron dot show context menu, then call this, then it's now going to show the context menu. Yeah, and it is going to work. But okay, now let's just test it out before doing the next thing. I've reloaded it like that, and as you can see, it is now bringing up the native context menu. Like if I click on the select file now, it's going to bring up the window, the select file window. Now let's cancel it and let's do the next thing. Now after selecting a file, it's going to emit this event, which is event from main process. Now let's come to this file, this place, and now to listen for that event that is emitted from the main process using the web content, we are going to use IPC renderer dot on then passing this. Now it's going to take in two stuff: the events that was sent and then the data that was sent. Then now we can now do we can now do whatever we like with the data that was sent, which we expected to be the file name. And if not data, then we can do just exactly as this. Now you are going to see that this preload.js file or the renderer process also have access, or the bridge also has access to the DOM, because we are using documents here. We can't use this document inside the main process, but we are using it inside this bridge because it has access to the full browser DOM. Yeah, then that's now going to be data instead of file. Now let's check it out. Reload and select file. Let's select another file this time around. This file. IPC renderer dot on. Okay, let's open up the console. Let's check something, if there's any error. Select file. Oh. I said if not data. No, I mean if there is data. Yeah, you are going to see it in action now. Okay, let me just close it. Select file. Let's select this now. As you can see, it is working. If we aux click again, select file. Let's select another one. Select file. Let's select another one. I think the browser does not support the .tiff. The extension is .tiff. Let's check the console. As you can see, let's select it again. Select file .tiff. Okay, it did not bring up any warning. I'm expecting it to bring up a warning that the browser does not support the .tiff. Now let's select another file, which is a JPEG file. Or maybe it is just the main process that is blocking it, because it is not among the extensions that we are supporting. Let's try to add the .tiff to it. Yeah, let's select the file now. .tiff. Yeah, it's not supported. Now let's sorry about that. Now let's select another one, which is a JPEG file. Yeah, and the image looks stretched. Let's fix that by just using object fit contain. Then let's select the file again. Yeah, as you can see, it is now displaying well. Now the next thing is, let's implement the menu at the top here. Yeah, I just extended the screen to the top so that it's going to be showing the top bar here on Mac. On Windows, it is this top menu is going to be at the top, like it's going to be in the header of your application, like this. Yeah, now we can actually edit this. Now to do that, let's go to the Electron JS documentation and this example menu here. Let's copy this example menu here to create a custom menu that fits our application. Now let's go to the main.js, and then we don't need to put it inside any event, because we want it to run when the app is initializing. So we are just going to paste it just like this, or we can just paste it inside this function, but let's just leave it like this. Now this on Mac, anything that comes first is going to be this thing here. It's going to be under this thing here, because this is a must. This thing here is a must, and that is why there is a check for if it is Mac. Then that is why it is doing this. Yeah, then let's just remove some things that we don't need. We don't need this, and then we are going to do label. It works just the same way as the context menu. Now let's label, then click. The click is going to be async. Yeah. Then let's remove the things that we don't need. Let's leave this help. The window minimize. Let's remove this, and let's undo the minimize. The minimize click. If we click on the minimize, let us minimize it. Then that is now going to be when we are going to also need this main window again. As you can see, why the reason why I declared this main window this way, so that it's going to be reusable like this. Then main window dot minimize, it is going to minimize. If you click on the minimize menu, submenu, it is going to minimize the application. Yeah, that is the only thing that we are going to be doing. Let's remove this thing here, and the edit also, we don't need the edits, so that we are going to personalize it to our application. Now this file here is going to be working the same way as this, so I can just copy everything here and go back to the file. Now we don't need event.sender. Now to send this same event to the renderer process, to send it to the renderer process, we are going to use the web content, because this event.sender in this that we got through this argument here, what am I, yeah, it is the web content which we can just get from the main window. We using main window dot web content dot send. This thing here, this event.sender here, is equivalent to the web content. This event.sender is equivalent to the web content. Yeah, then we can just use main window dot web content. We can also use this main window dot web content directly here. Yeah, then it is now going to send it to the main process, sorry, the renderer process. Yeah, now let's check it out. Because we edited our main.js, let's reload the app. Yeah, now if you check the top here, you are going to notice that the menu has reduced, and it has changed to just the window which has minimized. Let's click on minimize, and you are going to see that our app is going to minimize. Then file, oh wow, let's go back. It seems oh yeah, there's no label, which is going to be select file. Let's reload the app quickly. Yeah, now if we check it, you see that there's select file here, and the Electron, you see about Electron JS to services, whatever. Then that is what it is here. Now this role here, you see role about, you can't just pass in anything. If you want to know more about those role, you can come to the documentation and check more and read more about the role. The role is going to make this particular menu item use the native item. Like the about role in the native, it is also going to, like natively, it is also going to display some icons beside the menu item. Like for example, this is not displaying any icon, and this, you see role services, then hide others, show all, quit Electron JS tools. Let's come here. You see that role quit, there's role quit here. That is why there is this icon. It means it is using the native menu item. Yeah, that is that. Now let's check out what we just did. Select file is also going to bring up the native dialog box. Then let's select this file, this image, and as you can see, it is also doing the same way. Now we can do this, we can use this, you can do it this way. Select file, then we can also select file by clicking that button, select file. Yeah, we are not going to be implementing the delete file, or should we implement it? We can. If we implement the delete file, it's also just going to work just the same way. Okay, let's see how we can do that really quick. Let's come to the preload.js, then let's do delete file. Then that's going to be the file name. the file name. This is going to make us use the parameter, the file name, then IPC render.send delete file. Delete file, then the data that we're sending, file name, which is going to be file name, or we can just pass in file name just like that. Then let's go to the main process and handle it there. Now main process, let's just do it this way: IPC main dot on delete file, then events, then we can now use OS. Let's import const OS equal to require OS. Oh, sorry. I mean fs. Then that's now going to be, or let's use node fs. Then now that's now going to be fs dot on link. The second stuff here is going to be the data, and that's now going to be data dot file name. Then this is I think this is a promise, or we can just do it this way. If not error, that is, if there is no error, then let's use main window dot web contents dot send file deleted. Yeah, it's just going to send file deleted without any parameter. Then let's go to the preload.js and listen to it. Let's listen to that dot on file deleted. Then we know that the file has been deleted. Then what we are just going to do is document.querySelector.src. we're just going to set it to null. Yeah, then we are not going to be deleting much file because I don't want to delete those files. Are those pictures are space pictures. Yeah, okay. I've added a new file that we can delete. We are going to be deleting this file. Yeah, now let's try it out. And there we are also, let's implement this. Okay, we are going to add a new button. there, which is going to be delete file, delete picture, or let's say image. Let's just name it image, delete image. Then I need to update the CSS. Yeah, now what I did was add a margin right to the first child and add a background color to the last child, just to indicate a delete. Yeah, now let's check that out. Let's reload. Okay, there's no reload again because I am not implementing the reload. Let's come to the stuff here and come back to this page. Let's come to the example. There is a role here, role reload. Let's add it to the main.js, to the window. Role reload. Yeah, let's just do it that way. And yeah, this is going to allow us to be able to reload. Now let's just reload everything together. Let's reload everything together. Yeah, there is delete image and there is select picture to preview. Now let's undo the delete image, and this is delete file. Let's go to the index.js, then document dot query selector delete file dot on click. Now let's check if the SRC of the image is empty. If the SRC of the image is empty, then let's just equal to empty string. Let's return. Let's go back, like we are not going to continue the operation, else we are going to use, okay, we can just call electron dot delete file. Let's come back to the preload. Yeah, delete file. Then let's pass in the file that we want to delete, dot src, the src of the file, which is going to be the full part of the file that we want to delete. Yeah, and then it's now going to send it here. Then that's now going to go to the main.js process, or the main process, which is now going to delete the file. Yeah, and after the file has been deleted, it's now going to send a file deleted event back to the renderer process, and then that is now going to be listened for here, and then it's now going to set the image link to empty. Yeah, I think we can just reload now. Then if you click this delete image, you see it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. Then okay, we can add something like, let's do something like, let's go back and do something like confirm. If we add a confirm, it's going to use the native dialog box. That's going to be window.confirm. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Then if confirm, is going to return a boolean. If the user selects yes, then we are going to go on and delete the file. Yeah, let's reload. Now if I click on delete file, it's going to open up a native window asking us whether we want to delete the file or not. Then if I click on cancel, it's not going to do anything. And if I click on OK, yep. Now it's not supposed to do anything because the if document.query selector.src is not supposed to do anything because the file is empty. Let's check it now. Let's check it. No. SRC. Oh, yeah. Now we also can't inspect because we remove the inspect stuff from here. Toggle dev tools. Now let's go back to the main.js and let's add a toggle dev tools row. It is just going to be like this. Toggle dev tools. Then let's reload quickly. Yeah, now let's toggle dev tools. Then if I click on delete file. Yeah, okay. SRC. Okay, we can just let's just remove the SRC. Let's check by removing the src. The src equal to undefined. Let's check if it is undefined. False. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Now this src is equal to an empty string. Yeah. Now that is going to work. Now the delete image is not going to do anything. And well, let's go on. Now if you select a file, let's select a file, and let's select this file that I just added. This file is a rocket file. No, the Hubble Space Telescope picture. Now let's delete the file. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Okay. What happened? File. Let's check if the file still exists. The file still exists. It's not deleted. Let's go back to the main process and check what happened. fs.onLink. Let's add a console.log here just to see what data select the file and delete. Yeah, file name. Yeah, let's just start. Let's check what is really happening. This is debugging. Yeah. Let's pass in the file again. Then let's delete file. Let's check. It seems the file is still here. Okay, let's check the error that occurred. Let's reload. The file does not exist. Let's remove this file. This file in front of it. Let's remove the file in front of it. Or let's do dot replace file. No, let's use file with nothing. Yeah, let me try something. Path.sep. Okay, yeah, I can use path.sep plus path.sep plus path.sep. Yeah, then because on Windows, so that it is going to be platform specific. On Windows it is going to be backward slash, and on Linux and Mac it's going to be forward slash. Yeah, now let's check that out. Then select image, this, then delete image. Yeah, as you can see, it has deleted the image and no error. Error is null. Now if you check, you see that the image has been deleted. Now as you can see, we can now delete image from our application. Now let's also change this title. To change the title, we can change it from here by just saying image manager. Now let's refresh. You see it has changed. Select image. Then we can also implement the delete file from here too. Let's do that really quick. This is just what is going to. Then we can create a reusable function, just like the select file const delete file. Yeah. Then file name. Yeah. Now delete file, then we can use it. We can just pass it into the delete file. Yeah, delete file. Then in the context menu also, that's going to be, let's take this to the next line and take this also to the next line. That's going to be click delete file. Then delete file. Then let's come to the top here and also implement it for through the menu. Let's duplicate this. Then that's now going to be delete file. Yeah, what I was trying to say is we can actually just send an event from here. You can actually just send an event from here to the renderer process to prompt the user whether they want to delete the file or not. Now attempt delete file. Then it's going to pass in the okay, we don't need this file. We don't need to send any data. We are going to get it on the renderer process. Then in the context menu, for the context menu, we can have access to the file. From the context menu, we can have access to the file because yeah. Then that means we will have to pass in data from the context menu. Then going back to the open context menu, preload, then it's going to take in an optional file name, which we can then let's uncomment this. That's now going to be file name. Yeah. Because we are not using TypeScript, this is not going to give us any issue. This can be null. Or we can just set it to undefined. Yeah. Then open context menu. This is the open context menu. Then you can pass in the file name. Now going back to the index.js, if we are showing context menu, we can just pass in this file, this stuff here. You can just pass in the stuff there. Then that is going to, inside the preload, it is going to get passed as the file name to the context menu. To the context menu here. Then we can now use data dot delete file, data dot file name. Then for this one is now going to we're now going to do it this way. IPC render dot on attempt delete file. Then it is now going to do something like, if this is null, if this is empty string, if it is not empty string, then that is when it is now going to show window dot confirm, just the same thing as what we are doing here. Window dot confirm, if window dot confirm, or we can just do something like just put this here and window dot confirm. If this if the src of the file is empty, it is not going to go on to confirm. It is just going to stop the execution here and skip the whole if statement. Yeah, then electron dot delete file, or we can just do it this way, delete file, just pass it in there, or simply just renderer dot delete file, renderer dot delete file, which is this here. Yeah, now let's check it out. There's a delete file. Let's undo that too for the delete file. For the context menu, if data dot file name equal to, then return. Yep, let's check that again. Yeah, now on file, there's a delete file here, and there's also a delete file here. Yeah, and we can also render this if only if there's a file, only if there's a file here, but that is above the scope of this tutorial. Yeah, now let's test it out. Let's select file. Let's select the file again. I actually just quickly duplicated all these files because I don't want to lose them. Then let's select this file. Then now let us delete it. Delete file. Actually what this is going to do is the implication of this is not going to warn the user. So instead of that, we can just do the same thing, just the same thing as we are doing here. Attempt delete file. Displays attempt delete file. Now let's quickly reload it. Yeah, let's select the file, then select this file, then delete the file. Yeah, as you can see, it brings up this. It's communicated to the preload or the renderer process or the bridge. Then the bridge, because it has access to the DOM, it brings up the confirm box. Then if I click on OK, canary properties of undefined, reading replace. Okay, well, it seems let's bring something up here. Canary properties of undefined. This is where the issue is. File name dot replace delete file. It means let's go back to the preload.js and attempt delete file. Document.query selector image.src. Let's check the src. Oh. The renderer dot delete file. Okay, yeah. render dot delete file name log file name. Let's check that. Then delete file name, delete file. Okay, then let's go to delete file. Oh, delete file, we did not pass in this data to it. This is where the issue is. File name on IPC main dot on delete file, then file name. Yeah, now let's check that out. Yeah, now select file. Let's select this file, then delete file. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Yes. Then yeah, it has been deleted. And if you check here, you see that the file has been deleted. And also if we click on delete file here, you see it's not going to it did something. I think it seems okay, let's check something out here. Attempt to delete file log image, then let's check it. Let's select file, let's select this file and then delete it. Then from this list, delete file. Yeah, it is because I think we can just set it to, or we can just remove attributes then that's not going to be SRC. Yep. Select file, let's select another file, this image, then let's delete it. Yeah, delete. Now delete file, you see it's not going to do anything because the stuff is empty. Now you see that in the folder the file is gone. Then now let's select file. Let's use this menu, select file, let's select this file, then let's use the menu to delete the file. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Yes. Yeah, it still works the same way. Yeah, this is the end of the tutorial, and we also do other tutorials like how to use Electron JS and React JS. We do that also. And yeah, we've come to the end of the tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please give it a thumb up, and if you don't like it, please let me know why you don't like it and how I can improve my tutorials. And all the lesson files are going to be available on my GitHub repository. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It motivates me to do more tutorials like this. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial.